So that breaking news is that Judge Susan Candiotti has erased Aaron Hernandez's murder conviction following his suicide. Well, journalist Susan Candiotti, who has followed this case from the very beginning, joins me live from Ohio to talk more about this. Susan, thank you very much for talking to Beyond the Game. Now, Judge Candiotti was very tight on the decision. Can you take us through the key moments of today's ruling?
Well, there were very good arguments made on both sides of this case, Samantha. First of all, prosecutors argued very strenuously that, in their words, Aaron Hernandez should not be rewarded for apparently taking his own life. They cited various pieces of evidence, inmate interviews that were conducted after his apparent suicide, that indicated he knew that if he took his own life, that the conviction would go away. And they also cited, as you did in your setup report, that the letter that he wrote and left behind for his fiancée saying, "You're rich," also indicated some prior knowledge that he would benefit by hanging himself in his own cell. But the defense attorneys, the appellate attorneys, argued, on the other hand, that the law is the law. It may be an archaic law, but without any solid evidence that we definitely know why Aaron Hernandez took his own life, that the law must be followed. And that's what the judge had to base her ruling on.
Well, that might be the case, but can the prosecutors now appeal this decision?
They can. And in fact, the prosecutor, the district attorney in Massachusetts that oversaw this case, said they definitely plan to appeal it. They're arguing that this is a very archaic law. It's time to change it. It does not take into consideration all the work that the jury has done, all the evidence that they reviewed in this case, and that that's time to move away from an old law such as this. They believe the trend is in that direction. Yes, more evidence may need to be heard about it, but they don't feel as though it is correct in this day and age to simply wipe out a conviction because a prisoner has decided to apparently take his own life.
Well, following this decision, where does it leave the New England Patriots? I mean, they released them after getting arrested, so they didn't have to pay out the remainder of his contract. But now, in the eyes of the law, Hernandez is an innocent man. So will they have to pay out?
Well, not necessarily, but that is the question a lot of people are asking. In fact, some people are suggesting that just as a show of good faith, the New England Patriots surely could afford to pay money to the victims who have filed a civil lawsuit against the estate of Aaron Hernandez. So it's really unclear what's going to happen. But the civil lawsuit is moving forward. The victims' family in this case will be have their hands tied because now the murder conviction has gone away, so they can't cite that as a reason why they should be granted the benefit of money from his estate, including money that the Patriots owed him. So this won't be settled anytime soon, Samantha.
Okay, well, I think you touched on it a little earlier on, but can you see this law being reviewed?
You know, it is possible. In fact, some states have eliminated it. And so it will be interesting to see whether this is possibly the spark to create a precedent here. Sometimes when it has been applied in the past, people have withdrawn their appeal. So there are some legal arguments to be made here, and perhaps this is the spark that will get this movement going. Certainly the district attorney in this case hopes to take this to higher courts and try to make it a permanent change and have this law eliminated in the state of Massachusetts and perhaps other states as well.
Okay, well, Susan, I do want to talk about you just a little bit. You followed this case from the very, very beginning. What's been so fascinating about it from you reporting on it?
Well, I think mainly is that it's so hard to understand what motivated this young man. He was someone who had it all and appeared to have thrown it all away. And that so many people died as a result of these decisions. Now, clearly, we don't have any legal reason now to say that Aaron Hernandez was convicted of killing Odin Lloyd, and certainly he was acquitted in the death of 2 other people. So my thoughts at this time really go to the victims' families in this case, and certainly the relatives of Aaron Hernandez, who are also looking for answers. It's a difficult case for so many people, but this is a young man who clearly had his life ahead of him, had signed for a lot of money, $40 million to play football, and could have had such a successful career, but for what happened beginning in 2013.
Susan, thank you so much for coming on to Beyond the Game.